CM 365, all about Carnatic music.
In Carnatic music, we have what we call as some of the most popular ragas, and then we also have the rare ragas. So the popular ragas are those which we actually hear very often, and so they get embedded in our mind. And these rare ragas that way, are a bit confusing in the sense that they very much sound like the popular ragas that we've already heard, but yet we know that there is something different here, and it is not the raga that we are thinking of, but something new. So today I thought I will share something about some such ragas where you also see that the concept of the popular ragam is so much in your mind, but then where does the difference lie? Of course, the compositions are the best tool, I would say, in terms of identifying new ragas and trying to create that picture in your mind. So we'll just now look into some ragas. Of course, there are many such ragas here, especially those of Tyagarajar. You see that by permutation, combination, so many ragas have been created that just a small difference leads to some other new ragam. That's how it works. Especially in the janyas of Maya Malagola, Karal Priya and all, you see that many ragams may sound very similar to you. I will take up one example for you of this very popular combination of Abogi and Sri Ranjani, which has evolved into Jaya Manohari. So when you listen to this ragam Jaya Manohari many times, you must be wondering, suddenly it looks like Abogi, suddenly it looks like Sri Ranjani. Well, it is a combo, I would say, of this Abogi and Sri Ranjani, and it comes like Sari ga ma da sa sa ni da ma ga ri sa, Sari ga ma da sa sa ni da ma ga ri sa. So ni bhakti bhagya sudha niti ni ve. Of course, it requires a trained ear, I would say, to identify this as a distinct raga from Abogi and Sri Ranjani. Another ragam of Dikshadhar, for example, if you look at this Kumuda Kriya, it sounds very much like your Panturali because of the fact that it is a janya of Panturali. So where Sari ga ma pa da ni sa sa ni da pa ma ga ri sa is Panturali or Kamavardhini. Now, how does this ragam Kumuda Kriya differ from its parent ragam? Is like Sari ga ma dha sa sa ni da ma ga ri sa, Sari ga ma dha sa sa ni da ma ga ri sa. Of course, the main flavor of this ragam comes through this Panchama Varjya, which is that's where the heart of the ragam lies, where Madama Gari, these kind of phrases, where this ragam actually deletes the Panchama. And of course, when some artist render Panturali itself, you see that just for giving a new color, a new tinge, especially while rendering Alapana or the Kalpana Swaram, they may suddenly resort to some kind of Panchama Varjya phrases. So then it gives you a different flavor which may be very similar to this Kumuda Kriya that we are talking about. But of course, the artist will come back to using the Panchama because that is very important in Panturali. Let's take another example of the ragam Suddha Simantani that was created by Sri Tyagarajar. Suddha Simantani is, to put it very simply, it's a janya of Todi, and it only omits the Swaram Nishada in Todi. Of course, the way the Gamakas are handled are totally different in the sense that Todi is a totally Gamaka led and ragam, whereas Suddha Simantani uses minimal usage of Gamakam. But coming to the notes taken, if you take Todi, Sari ga ma pa da ni sa sa ni da pa ma ga ri sa, whereas Suddha Simantani Sari ga ma pa da sa sa da pa ma ga ri sa, Sari ga ma pa da sa sa da pa ma ga ri sa. So if the artist does not show you that Padasa combination, you may definitely get a feel of Todi, and there is all probability that you may get confused. Another ragam I would like to take here is Jayanta Shri, where the overpowering Hindolam is the main, I would say, the basic raw material here, where to Hindolam Tyagaraja has just added a Panchama, and thus Jayanta Shri has evolved. So it's like sa ga ma da ni sa sa ni da ma pa ma ga sa sa ga ma da ni sa sa ni da ma pa ma ga sa ma ru ge la ra o ra ga va. So where if the artist didn't show the pa prominently, there is very much many reason for you to get confused with this ragam and Hindolam. So that Sani Rama Pa Magasa is something that the artist has to keep showing to you, so that you understand that this is a new ragam and this is not something like Hindolam. I am talking all this from the common Rasikas point of view. Of course, for learned Rasikas who know the Swarasthanas and who knows the raga and scale, for them it is very easy to identify. But a common Rasika who has just been hearing music and not been tuned to the technicalities in terms of knowing the Swaras or the Swarasthanas, these kinds of confusions are very much probably, in all probability, it is likely to happen. Another example I will take here is the ragam Vijayashri, where it sounds very much like Varali in many places, like Varanaradhanarayana Smarananandanubhava Mugala, where it takes the notes Sare Gama Panisa Sani Pamagarisa. So where only you see that the Dhaivata is not there, but overall the color of this ragam is very, very similar to Varali, and there is all probability that sometimes you may confuse it if you do not look at it very intently. Another ragam, for example, I could take is Simha Vahini, in which again Tyagaraja has composed a piece. Its parent ragam is Sarasangi, like Sari Gama Pada Ni Sa Sani Da Pa Ma Ga Ri Sa. So, if here in Simha Vahini, what is happening is that only in the Arohanam the Rishabha is deleted. So it's actually quite difficult, in fact, I would say, to identify this ragam, because the Avarohana actually takes all the 7 notes. It's not that any note is even deleted in the Avarohana. So it's like Sa Ga Ma Pa Da Ni Sa Sa Ni Da Pa Ma Ga Ri Sa. So of course Tyagaraja, I always say that he's been very intelligent in terms of giving us the definition of the ragam in the opening phrase. So he definitely gives you the cue that Nenarun Sarana Pini Sagama. So if you are keenly observing, you would have immediately, you will be able to get to know that it is not Sarigama but Sagama, and so obviously it is not Sarasangi but something derived from it, and you come to know that it's a new ragam which is Simha Vahini. But of course here, as I said, because it is Sagama Pada Ni Sa Sa Ni Da Pa Ma Ga Ri Sa, unless you notice very keenly, you may not be able to identify this ragam. So like this, as Rasikas, what I want to convey here is that, as I said earlier also, like the more fitter ragam, the more popular ragam is there in our mind. And then these kind of ragams, there are many such ragams in this, actually I can give many more examples also, where some other rarer ragam may actually, you may not be able to identify it, but you will be able to relate it to some other ragam that is popularly known to you. And that is how also we also learn to actually identify more and more ragas. How we learn is with the help of the known ragas, we try to learn, or we learn to identify the unknown ragas, in the sense that whatever is known, from that how is the unknown ragam different? Where does the difference lie? What are the notes that make it different? This is how we try to expand our knowledge of ragas. And once we actually not only identify the popular ragams, but especially when you are able to identify the rare ragams in kacheris, when the artist is singing rare ragams, I am sure that it is much more a thrilling experience for you, because it gives you a very kind of a gratifying experience. So more than about the popular ragams, when we try to identify rare ragams, it is a very, very enriching and rewarding experience for any Rasika.
CM 365, all about Carnatic music.